Hi there, I'm Jonathan Parker from Parker Adams Boat Sales, and we're going to do a full walkthrough tour on this brilliant Sargo 31 right here, right now. But I've also got a special guest. I'll just let you introduce yourself.
I'm Richard from Sargo Boats, and we're going to do a little bit of a tour through the boat. Fantastic 2014 Commission 15 Sargo 31. A truly all-season, all-weather boat, but really one of the few in the UK with twin engines.
Fantastic. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel for all the other videos we're doing, but stay tuned for this tour right here, right now. Right, welcome to this fantastic walkthrough tour of the Sargo 31 over here in Hamble Point Marina. It's a lovely day today. I've got the pleasure of Richard with me as well. So we're going to do a walkthrough tour, and as I don't know what things are, I'm going to ask Richard, because he's the expert, so you'll know all the answers, won't you, Richard?
We hope.
We hope. But one of the things I really love about the Sargos is actually the access onto the boat, because it's a really easy access boat with this extended bathing platform. You can get on the sides very easy, as well as obviously step on the back and straight through into the rear cockpit area. But I also like the fact that it has the curved edges. So quite often on bathing platforms, they're very square and unprotected. But what I really like about this, it's got a huge rubber mounted edge to the platform, and it runs along as well, further along, almost to about midway. And then also there's an upper one as well, for if you bump up against walls and things like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And
it's just a really good protection for the boat. So often you see the edges of the boat scuffed and chipped because of things like this on the pontoon. Look, people forget about these sort of triangular bits on the pontoon. You can very easily catch yourself on them, but it's got great protection for that.
The platform itself as well, and it's a USP of the whole brand, is that these two hatches here, which you can actually lift up and get actually at the leg or the legs. So if you were to get a prop wrap, which is more and more common in the UK now with all of the unmarked fishing pots and things, it means that you can lift the leg and actually get at the propellers just by literally kneeling on the platform.
Yeah, it's a really good point, that, because so often if you're trying to undo a rope, you're having to lean over the back, and it's quite unsafe because you run the risk of falling in yourself. Whereas if you can do it from safety, yeah, it's a really good addition.
It makes a huge difference to the usability. As you'll find, the brand's all about practicality.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes, and even with these, so these fender holders as well, you've got 4 fender holders on the back, very easy just to be able to store your fenders, and then a very nice walkway in. There's a nice stainless steel gate to allow you to come in, so it offers that great protection when you're inside, and then into the rear cockpit area. And Sargo have got quite a nice layout in here, haven't they? Yeah, they have. They've to maximise the space for the outdoor living, if you like. You know, with your seats, your backrests, your cushions, fold-out table, which actually stores very nicely in that locker. It's all designed around ease of use. Yeah, I think this is really nice, especially when you're on anchor, because obviously you always have the prevailing wind from the front of the boat when you're at anchor. So when you're sat here, as we were just on the intro, you've got a really well protected area, which also you have sunshade as well. Yeah. So this sunshade just gives you that bit extra. So when you're at a hot summer's day, it's just a really nice place to be. And as we're talking about the UK, on a wet day, it's always good to be under here as well. But you can actually, as Jonathan says, it's protected, but you can actually sit here at 30 odd knots as well. Yeah. Out of the wind. I think it's a really good vantage point when you're going along, that you can actually sit here, and there's grab handles as well, and the table stows very neatly under the seat that I'm in. And this is a nice storage area in here as well as you've got a storage area under each seat on either side, but they have a couple of tricks to them as well. So when you look in, this is just a nice storage area in this side, but it's on a gas strut. There's enough room to be able to run the line in from the cleat, so you don't have to necessarily remove the line from the cleat to store your ropes in here. But this also has a wash down. So in here there's a hose, and it plugs in just here, and there's a wash down pump, and it's a seawater pump. So you can wash down the back of the boat, you wash all the dirt and everything off with the seawater pump. When you're finished, if you were to do some fishing or things like that, or just generally if you're getting out, if you're getting onto the boat and you've got muddy feet or whatever you have, you can wash it all down. But there's also something in the other side as well. On this side as well, you've got the diesel filler, which is undercover, so no
water or anything gets in. You've also got a deck shower in the back here as well, so freshwater shower. So if you have been in the water or not, as the case may be, you just want to rinse something down, you've got the option of doing that from there as well.
So you've got the 2 water options: seawater wash down just for washing dirt off, or the fresh water for if you want to get rid of the salt. So it's a really nice area. Great access to the engine as well under here. So this whole platform lifts up on gas struts and it comes up to here, and then you've got full engine access. And we'll show you the engine access a little bit later. But I also like the fact there's 3 other things I like about this area. One is this window, this fully opening window, which just allows so much air through the boat. It's really smart. And the second one is there's a stereo control here.
And that's an massive upgrade. That wouldn't have been there from standard. That is an upgrade to go with the upgraded stereo CD player, in fact, on this boat, in the front.
Yeah, so you can dig out your old CDs now.
Take them off the line in the garden to stop the birds.
And this one can control the speakers out here, but also you can control the speakers all through the boat, as well as obviously the other one can do both as well. So it's a nice little addition. That, and you see the speakers up here with lighting as well. So in the evening you can sit out here and you can light up the deck. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, there is a rear camera on this boat as well. So it's got a good navigation suite on this boat as well, which we'll go through as we go through as we go around the inside. But one of the other things Sargo's great at is the walkaround, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The only boat of their class that actually have a single level walkaround, so there are no steps in the side decks at all. It slopes up gently towards the front, but no steps in it, so you're not going to stub your toes, fall over. And if you've got kids, grandkids, or animals, dogs and cats, absolutely fantastic.
We'll have a walk round. You're going to stay out then. Yeah, we'll walk around both sides, and both sides are equal, so you can walk all the way round. On the floor here, there's a holding tank on the boat as well, and the waste pump out is just there. I do like the way it drops here, so you can have side access. So you can step and side onto here. So you've got side access as well as rear access. But of course, when you're doing fenders, when you're doing lines, it's just ever so easy. I do like the fact there's a cleat right in the centre. So this mid cleat is really useful for single-handed use. So if you're leaving the helm and you want to just tie a line on, you can see it's very easy just to get a line onto a cleat to stop you moving around, and then you can sort out your lines other than that. And then you can walk all the way round. Like Richard said, there's just a gradual slope. So there's no steps all the way up to the front section where Richard's met us up here. So what's up here then that we can talk about, apart from obviously this lovely seat
cushion? You've got your anchor windlass, self-stowing anchor, chains all in, very accessible from a locker with the rope on it as well. Standard, that's controllable from the helm position on a little rocker switch, but also has a remote for it, so you can walk forward and actually use the remote, which takes out all of those electrical problems that you have with foot switches on a lot of boats or umbilicals. So that will really...
It's a wireless remote.
A wireless remote,
yeah. A wireless remote, that's really cool.
It's very clever. Obviously the cleats, which you've just mentioned, standard, they're massively over-specced. Huge things.
I think that's one thing you find with the Sargo boats, they're sort of over-engineered.
Yeah.
So they'll go sort of one step above what you would normally sort of require on a boat. They seem to just upgrade everything. So you get a very sturdy boat that just lasts a lifetime, really.
It does. And even just little things like, having the smaller handrails, which are probably bigger than most people's guardrails anyway. So if it was rough or, you're unsteady on your feet, you can actually get all the way around the boat very safely.
And that is one of the beauties of the Sargo, is that it's a very easy boat to get around. It's a very easy boat to handle and to be able to access through. So if you are unsteady on your feet or you do have mobility issues, it's a really good option for a lot of people.
The 2 side doors, which is standard, just make that ease of use from getting from one side to the other just by walking through the cabin or around. And then again, the short-handed handling, which you've actually already covered really, but everything is geared from that position so that you can actually very easily use it yourself and get out of the boat.
Very good. I like your spotlights. To me, they're quite retro.
Yes,
the stainless steel spotlights, so. The 3 spotlights, that's very cool looking. It's like something you'd have in an old classic car, like a classic rally car or something.
It's very Finnish.
yeah, it's very Finnish. And then you can see up on the top here, what's this in the middle? So we've got the 2 VHF rails, we've got AIS, and we've also got on the top, you can see there's wind instruments as well. So it actually has wind instruments which you can see at the helm, which show you in a minute. as well as obviously the normal GPS aerials and things like that.
Yeah, so you've got a AIS aerial, VHF aerial. This boat originally was sold by the Dutch dealer. I'm not 100% sure what that aerial does without going to have a look at the moment. It could have been an original AIS, I don't know.
Well, we'll put it in the spec anyway.
We have, so,
what it is.
And then at the back, obviously, as Jonathan's just said, you've got a DAB aerial for your stereo system and your wind instrument. So yeah, all very, very good. And the reason they put twin aerials on where you could put a splitter is just so you have redundancy. So if you ever have an aerial issue, you can swap them over.
Yeah, that's very good.
3 windscreen wipers, 1 for each window. They're all on switch inside that gives you slow speed, medium and high. This one's also got the washer on it as well. So for the UK market, particularly with the salt water, very useful. They tend not to have them in Scandinavia where the water has less salt, but certainly from a UK perspective, they're very good.
Yeah, very good. Right, so should we do some internal stuff then? So if we come in to the helm position, we can see that the actual helm seats, there's 2. You've got 2 forward-facing helm seats, a nice footrest. I do like driving these sat down.
Yes.
You do have the standing option as well, but the engine controls all work off this one bezel, isn't it? So you can actually move it as well. So if I wanted the controls to come closer to me, I can just bring the whole lot. And I like the fact it's not just the steering wheel, it's the engine controls and some of the instrumentation, as well as the bow thruster and trim tab control. So everything you'd want to actually, when you're traveling, is all close to hand. And then if you do want to stand up, you can just lift that up and you can stand, and then you can control it from here as well. One of the things that I do always appreciate the Sargo do is put the knob on the steering wheel.
Yeah,
I really like that. It just makes manoeuvring the legs sort of from port to starboard very quick, very easy, and it just really helps with manoeuvring.
Very much so.
If you'd also come through and have a look at the navigation, it's got twin 12-inch Raymarine chart plotters, and we've got them set up at the moment. So we've got the you've just got navigation on that screen, but we've got the wind instrument on here. So that's quite good to actually see the wind direction and the wind speed. And the reason you'd have that is, of course, if you're enclosed and you're wanting to basically it's for mooring up.
Mooring, yeah, absolutely.
So you can just tell what the wind direction is and the speed, so you can counter it when you're mooring up. It's very hard to tell what the wind is when you're inside the helm. Some people put a birdie or something on the front, but it's actually quite nice to have that instrumentation on there.
Very much so. The twin plotters make life easy. I mean, the whole ethos behind it was so that you could have your engine information on one of them if you wanted to, or, as normally happens, is somebody else wanting to look at the route or zoom in or somewhere else where the helm can sit and look at the depth, speed and actually where they're going. So it makes a huge difference. I mean, from an engine perspective, if you pan up, you'll see all of the dials up there, and then there's everything available on analog as well. As stuff that's available on the screen itself.
Yes, so we've got autopilot as well. So we've got an autopilot head on here, obviously normal engine instrumentation. Also we've got a voltage reader, sort of Merlin data cell, a battery monitor, as well as just the main Fusion head unit with the CD player in. That's your wireless remote for the anchor. And then we've got some switches, but also we've got a wireless remote for the autopilot, which is quite unusual. So you can move, so when you're traveling, you don't have to necessarily do it from up there, you can do it wirelessly as well. I think that's very smart. What I also like about Sargo, for ease of use, again, when you come on board, when you want to turn the battery switches on, the battery switches are in the engine bay. There's 3 of them, but they automatically all turn on when you turn on this one switch. So you don't have to go to somewhere to turn the battery switches on, you just turn it on from this one switch, and I really like that feature. This also has an inverter as well, so it's got a 2 kilowatt inverter, which you can turn on and off up here. So when you're off grid, you can still use a power from the batteries for 240 volt operations. And there's storage, seems to be a bit of storage everywhere, doesn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got a couple of drawers, a drawer there and a cupboard, is it?
Yeah, there's a drawers underneath here. And then spares there as well. You've got a fold down footrest for the passenger seat. Now that clips down.
Go on, Richard, you can do
I
it.
can do it.
Not with it.
Come on.
It's not been folded down. It's not been folded down for a while.
It hasn't been folded down for a long time. So that folds down, so you can put your feet on it there. But going back to the storage, you've got a fridge underneath this seat here.
So let me step out and you can come through.
So fridge under there. There's storage underneath the bench seat there as well. And then obviously I'm sat on the seat that lifts up to get down to the aft cabin, which again on a 31-foot boat is quite impressive.
Yeah, I think I love this curved seating area. Does this seat spin round as well?
Yes,
this one
it does,
spins
yeah.
round, so you can join the social area with this seat as well. So you can actually now sit quite a lot of people. So it's quite a social area in the evening as well. So you can sit quite a few people around.
Sorry, Jonathan. And this table itself, because it's on an angled leg, you can actually spin the whole table around and then spin the top. So you can pretty much get any aspect or however many people you have sat to sit around a table. It fills the entire space, or it goes away. So
Yes, you can actually use it as a desk.
you could. And the reason that does that is just found by Jonathan's leg is another power socket outlet, so you can plug a laptop in and sit here and work.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Not that many of us really want to do that.
No, absolutely. I do like the way the legs offset as well to the back, so it's not in the middle and getting in the way of your feet. So when you don't want to use it, you can just swing it out the way
all the way
completely.
right out the way back to here, which in fact I'll do now. I'll just move that cushion, I'll spin it around that way. There we go, right out the way.
That's really smart. You've got a storage shelf up the top, as well as you've got some mood lighting built into the woodwork, which is smart, as well as there's blinds that you just pull down around, and little storage cupboards in each corner.
Designed for bottles, funnily enough. And then the blinds themselves, as Jonathan said, these were always this is a massive upgrade on the boat, as is the inset LED strip around the edge. LED reading lights were always an option as well. So this boat itself, from a spec perspective, has masses of upgrades on it as standard. It's absolutely fantastic.
And this one has one big other feature as well, because we've shown you the opening window and the opening doors for aeration, but of course it's got a huge sunroof as well. So the sunroof, if you look at it now, you can see it's got windows in it, so it brings a nice amount of light into this area. But if you do want to open it up completely, you can just pull it back all the way back to there, and then you can completely open up the space. So now it feels like you're sort of really out in the fresh air. I think it's a really nice feature on these. Right, let's carry on. So Nick, if you come round to this way. And then what we can do is a storage up there as well, but you can sort of start to see now this is like part of the galley area, so you can completely cover it up, so you can have chart tables on here, you can use it for storage, you can have bits and pieces on here, but what you can do is also open it all up. So you can open this to give you access to down below. There's a storage compartment in here, which you've just put some of the navigation covers on at the moment, and then you can lift this section up. It's on a gas strut, and what we've got in here is a Wallace diesel hob. So it's a diesel fired hob, works much like diesel heating, where it will fire up, and so you don't need gas on the boat, it just works off diesel in the diesel tank. It's a very efficient way of heating up without having to use gas or electric. And there's also a sink as well, and we've got hot and cold water, so we've got hot and cold water to this boat, as well as we've got a nice bit of storage under here, and of course we've already shown you the fridge as well, so it's quite a nicely appointed galley.
Yeah, very much so. The extra bits and pieces of the storage, you know, there's a dedicated bin cupboard in here, which is it's all teak, it's all been fitted. It just adds to the ease of using the boat. Again, I can't stress enough that that's the sort of the ethos, is that everything should be usable.
Absolutely. I like this floor as well. So this sort of wooden floor is very nice condition as well. There's no wear to it. It's in really nice shape. And especially bearing in mind the boat's just over 10 years old now.
Yeah.
So it's really not really showing its age at all. Other addition as well is there is diesel heating as well. So we said it's got the diesel hob. It's also got diesel Webasto heating, which goes to all the cabins. And is there anything else I've missed up here, spec-wise?
From a boating perspective, it has a demister system that
Oh yeah.
Demists the engine, demists the windscreen, worked off the engine. So as soon as the engine heats up, there's 3 vents along the front here. You can blow hot or warm air over the windscreen to keep it clear, which works very, very well.
And as Richard just sort of skirted around there, they're actually run from the heat from the engine. So a bit like your car always used to be when you used to use the air blower. There's a couple of pipes come from the engine and it runs through a system that then runs an air pump, which then comes up to here. So you don't have to have the diesel heating on or any sort of other heating system on to operate the warm air that comes out of there. You can operate it from the helm, and it just uses the warm air from the engine to do it. So there's 2 pipe takeoffs from each engine. One side is for that and the other side is for the hot water tank. So a really good addition as well. And a lot of the Scandinavian boats have that.
They do, yeah. And the heat exchanger for that is actually under Jonathan's feet, so it's all hidden away, so you never see it or hear it. It's just a great system to keep it all clear. And people, the strap line for the boats, it is Sargo, the all-season boat, and they do use them all year. I mean, again, over in Scandinavia, the only thing at the yard in Finland where they're built that stops them using it in the winter is when the whole Baltic freezes.
Yeah.
So, they do use all of the heat that they can possibly get out of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me just drop down. So I'll drop down into this area. So coming down into this area here, there's actually 2 doors off of here. And on this side, though, if you have a look around, there's 2 power points in here with USB plugs as well for charging. There's also a microwave, which is a convection oven as well.
I think that's
so it's
that
a combi oven.
Combi oven, yeah.
So you can use that, as well as there's a nice cupboard storage. So there's actually hanging storage and then shelves in here, which is really nice feature. And I just love the way all the woodwork is just so nicely fitted. This is what's missing on a lot of modern boats now. You don't see it on a lot of the wooden finishes that you get on that Sargo still provide on for the boats, which is the quality difference, I think, between different brands of boats. There is a heads here. So the heads itself is really nicely appointed with electric flush toilet, and you have the sink with a pull-out shower attachment, and then there's a nice window in there. There's a hook that folds out up the top here, and I do like the towel holder, just the way it's made out of wood as well. And just, yeah, it's really, I just really like things like that. So I'll go just do these touches. You've got the toilet controls and obviously a bit of storage, and then there's a heating vent in here as well. Obviously you can shower in here. So there's the shower grate, as well as you can have a shower curtain which goes all the way around the circumference of the ceiling, so you can enclose yourself completely in as well. And the headroom's okay in here. I can stand up pretty much straight, albeit I am touching my head on the ceiling, but it is fine for using the toilet, as well as I would shower in here as well. Right, let me pop myself back out. Anything else to talk about in there?
No, just
is the toilet freshwater flush? Or
it's not seawater flush. The shower pump is automatic, so that as soon as you actually turn the tap on, that pump goes live, and it relies on a rheostat in there.
Okay, perfect.
To make it all work, which is really good. Yeah, they're great for what they are. It's a wet room in all intents and purposes.
Yeah, but it's definitely usable. And then the front cabin. The front cabin has, you can infill as well, can't you? So as you come in, it's a V-berth. Like the way there's a nice little bit of carpet on the floor here. This has actually had mattresses made for it, which fits over the original cushions. So this gives you just that extra little bit of comfort. So you don't have to have them on if you don't want to, but you can. As well as under here, there's an extra panel which you can pull out, and it'll infill into here, so you can have one large bed if you wish. And there is also storage, as well as it says access to the bow thruster as well under here, and the bow thruster fuses and things like that, and the anchor trips are all sort of under here. Storage either side, underneath, as well as, let me just show you again, I just like this mirror. So again, Sargo have made this mirror with a nice wooden frame, and then the reading lights either side as well. And there is power point in here, as well as opening windows either way, and obviously access to the bow above, so you can aerate, or it's also emergency access as well. So again, a well-appointed area. Anything else down here?
There's nothing really, nothing that really I can add to that. So no, it's just those memory foam mattress toppers are fantastic. I mean, more and more people are using them these days. Just a good night's sleep. Okay,
perfect. Right, so what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to take it out and do a drone video. So we're going to give it a run out. We're going to do a drone video of this boat, and we'll probably edit it into this video. So I think for now... Sorry?
The after cabin?
Oh yeah, we've forgotten a whole other cabin, haven't we?
As I said earlier, everybody
cabin.
forgets
Richard,
the aft cabin.
Do that. Right, show them how to get into the hidden cabin.
I'm just going to move the sun pad, which fits on the front deck. Just move that out of the way for now. But that's what that is. It covers the entire hatch area of there. And I'll pop down into the aft cabin. So, little hatch on a gas strut there. So, coming in down backwards. And in here, as we come down the steps, there's a carpeted area. There's 2 cupboards for the storage in here, which is all really good. And then a double bed in here. This is a UK standard double, so it all works really, really well. I don't really think I can add an awful lot to what's in here. There's a storage cupboard behind me, if Nick can see that one. Huge amount of storage in there as well. Separate light up on the top there, and then there's a light, a reading light over on the other side. You have an opening hatch in the side of the boat here as well as mains power and an outlet for the hot air heating. So you've got over on one side, on the side of the hull, is an opening hatch and a top, and here there's 2, just to give you a decent amount of airflow going through the boat. But it's nice and light cabin even without the lights on in here because of the hatches. But it's certainly a great place to sleep. And I think that's it for me, Nick, as I come up. Jonathan's asleep on the front already.
Oh, yes, so I thought I'd just take advantage of this front sunpad area. So yeah, so let's take this out for a drone video now and to see how it performs.
Let's do that.
All right, we'll see you soon. Well, we've really enjoyed our little trip out just now. We've done the drone video, obviously you've just seen that, and we actually got about 39 knots out of this boat, so a really quick boat as well with the D4 300 engines in it. Really good performance. This has trim assist as well, so the legs actually adjust as the Volvo system feels it needs to best assist with performance. Also, this has automatic trim tabs as well, which works fine, and but a really nice smooth ride. And actually, even though it did that speed, you were cruising really nicely at 25 to 30 knots, was just a really nice, you weren't even doing 2,500 revs, just a really nice speed for this. Great visibility, great handling as well. It's like driving a sports boat. Really enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Richard says goodbye as well, and I'll say goodbye. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Come and see this video at parker-adams.co.uk. See the rest of the spec of this boat and to make any inquiries for purchase, because it is available now to buy. So I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye for now. Goodbye.